I recruited this guy, and we weren't really sure if he was dangerous. Was he a dangle, a plant? We weren't sure. And he had only known me as the bald head comb over guy. Fun. And then you have to crash through roadblocks. They teach you the proper way to do that. There is most definitely a wrong way to do it.
What's the wrong way to do it?
It depends on how the roadblock is set up. If it's set up in a V, which is the most difficult to get through, always hit the light side of the car. Don't hit where the engine is, right? You got to hit where the trunk is, and the car will fly out of your way. But if it's in a V, even if it's the backs of the cars forming the V will, it's like a wedge where it'll strengthen on its own. So you have to hit the engine. It makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
And then we did, surveillance.
Yeah, did they drop you in a city and do that whole thing, like for real?
I'll tell you one funny thing.
Yeah.
It was the only thing that I distinctly did not enjoy was parachuting, right? So this is well before 9/11. And I said to one of the guys, why do we have to jump out of planes? I don't want to jump out of a plane. I'm going to be making my recruitments at diplomatic cocktail parties, right? Like, I'm offended. They're wasting my time here. I could be doing something, productive. After 9/11, I'm sitting in the back of a C-12, and the back opens up. And I said to this guy next to me, I can't fucking believe I'm going to jump out of this plane.
Listen, can't say they're not prepared. So they're teaching you every bit of spycraft.
And then they flew us out to the desert out west, and we did advanced counter-terrorist driving.
What does that mean?
Mostly sand dunes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they're preparing you for the hills of Afghanistan.
Yeah. And then I actually flew back from Athens to do a class called Advanced Counterterrorism Operations. That was deep. Yeah.
When you say deep, is that like you're putting masks on and learning how to do all that too?
No, we did that in the original training.
How good were the masks back then in 97?
Absolutely first class.
John Amandez in charge of that at the time?
She's a genius. Yeah.
She tells a story that because she went way back with H.W. Bush. She knew him from the early days.
Yes. And
she went and gave a briefing to him when he was president at this point in a full mask and suit, and he had no idea it was her. And this is like 1990.
She made a mask for me. It was a bald head with a comb over, right? And a mustache and really thick glasses. So the only seam was right here on the bridge of my nose, right? And the glasses covered it up. So they shipped it out to me, and I put it on, and my chief said, that is the best disguise I have ever seen. And I said, they told me it was the first time they had ever done a bald head with a comb over. And he says, we got to go to the ambassador. So we go into the ambassador. It was Nick Burns, who's now the ambassador to China. We go in and he says, Mr. Ambassador, I have an expert who's visiting from Washington. I wanted to introduce him. And I said, how do you do, Mr. Ambassador? He says, well, welcome to Athens. Nice to meet you. Who are you here to see? And I started making something up. And then my boss started laughing. And then I started laughing. And he said, what am I missing? And I went like this. And I pulled it off. And he's like, oh, my God. And I said, pretty good, right? And he's like, that's the best disguise I've ever seen.
This is in the 90s.
In the 90s. I have no idea what they're like now.
Now you're wearing them, right? So you go put it on alone in your room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're wearing it because you're the fucking person wearing it. When you naturally, that means you're biased to see flaws.
Yes.
When you looked in the mirror, were you like, I don't know, or were you like, holy shit?
That's a great question. And it's not unique to my disguise, but to all disguises. Right. One thing that never feels natural is the mustache. Because you use glue. It's all real hair, right? And it's on mesh. So you can't see the mesh. It looks like a real mustache. But if I have a real mustache, it moves naturally with my face. A glued on one doesn't. It looks stiff. When you watch TV shows and people are wearing fake mustaches, you can tell that they're fake.
That's right.
Because their upper lip doesn't move naturally. You have to
Now,
be
how
careful.
do you work against that? Do you just like try to not say anything in front of your
Yeah, and you can't smile broadly because the glue will detach. You know, like it's pliable enough to move as you're speaking, but if you smile, it stretches too much and the mustache will start to come off. You got to be careful.
What is it made out of? Are you allowed to say that?
Real human hair.
No, not the mustache.
Oh.
The suit. Like what?
I don't even know. Rubber. You know, it was just like a rubber mat. It was finer than what you would buy at a costume store, for example.
Does it like adheres to your body?
No.
No. So it's not going to move at all like someone hit.
Nope. I recruited this one guy,
Jesus.
and I sent him out to a town in the western
We
part of the
can't show that,
country.
Alessi. Yeah. That's going to be what will be whatever.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I recruited this guy, and we weren't really sure if he was dangerous. Was he a dangle, a plant? We weren't sure. And he had only known me as the bald head comb over guy.
Oh my God.
And so I looked 20 years younger in real life than what this disguise made me look like. And I told him to meet me, you know, at an intersection in this town. And I walked past him, like walking toward him. So he looked me right in the eye and didn't register at all.
No idea.
I went back to the hotel. I put the disguise on. I came out and got him. I just wanted to make sure that there was nobody around him. He wasn't carrying a gun.
He had no idea.
No.
Now, when you put it on, though, your eyes are still your eyes, right?
Yeah, your eyes are still your eyes. Although you can use contacts, and in some cases colored contacts. I've got this thing, this aging thing. It's called arcus senilis, where my eyes are starting to turn blue around the edges. It's just a function of aging. My grandfather had it. So if I were in the CIA today, I would have to wear brown contacts, because otherwise, if I'm close enough, you know, that we're looking at each other and having a conversation, you can see the blue,
right?
And that would be a giveaway. So you got to be careful about stuff like that.
So is it just your head with it?
Pretty
Or
much.
They don't have like the hands?
You can do a belly. You can do hands.
And what's that? Does that look like real skin?
Well, it's under the shirt.
I know, but like if someone told you to take your
No,
shirt
no,
off, they'd think it
and
was
they'll
real.
they'll match the color of the prosthetic to your skin.
So the prosthetic of the comb over matched your skin.
Oh, there was a woman who came out. She was an artist, and she spent days matching the prosthetic to my skin color. It was
so you didn't have
perfect.
to wear it here or anything like that.
No,
Wow.
it was perfect. Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like?
If it's just on the head, it feels very natural.
How thick? But is it like if it's thick, it can make your head look so big. So like how is it really thin? And
Oh no,
like,
it's very, very thin.
Yeah,
Very thin. Yeah.
So it looks natural.
Mm-hmm. It really does.
It's getting scary out here.
Yeah, it's good. And you know, this is becoming more and more important in the age of facial recognition software. If you're undercover, or worse, you're under deep cover, or you're traveling in alias, and you have to cross borders, go through airports. I mean, how do you do that if facial recognition software is scanning you?
Can it scan your eyes though? That's the thing. Like, can't the eyes be the giveaway?
That's going to be a problem.
Even with contact lenses, I feel like it'll be able to get the shaping of the pupils and everything.
I would be worried about that if I were still at the CIA.
All right, so you learn to shoot. You learn to use rocket launchers. You learn to jump out of planes. They drop. Oh, we got off this. They drop you in a city. I've had guys like Joe Tedeye and Sean Ryan in here who work with CIA Ground Branch and GRS. Like, they talk about and Andy's talked about it, where they drop you in D.C. or something. Were you right in D.C. doing it?
Yeah, almost all of it was in D.C. I had to fly out to San Diego at one point and got on a sub, and we went up to the Oregon coast.
Oh, like a submarine.
A submarine.
Oh.
Yeah. We went up to the Oregon coast, and they took me, you know, whatever it was, a half a mile, a quarter mile off the coast, and they rose, and I got into a little dinghy, and I had to row myself to shore. You stab the dinghy, you bury it in the sand, you pick up the message that's hidden in the bottle, and then that's your instructions for the next thing.
Fucking Tom Hanks out here. In
It
the
was
CIA.
hard.
Shit.
It was hard.
When you were doing the drills though in DC, is it like the way the other guys have described it is they'll be like, all right, you have to steal a shirt from this store and not get caught and stuff like that,
or you've got to get into an apartment on the 10th floor of this office build or of this apartment building, and come out onto the balcony and signal us.
How'd you do that?
I bought a clipboard. And I bought a shirt and put a little name tag, and I told the woman that I was a maintenance inspector.
You didn't get a ladder too?
I told the woman I was a maintenance inspector, and I needed to check on the condition of her balcony. So I went out there with my clipboard. I pretended to write something, gave the guys the thumbs up, and passed the exercise.
That guy I told you about, Jim DiOrio, has a great quote called "Politeness and familiarity breeds access."
Amen.
And so he tells a story about like he's out of his fucking mind, but like he works with Bustamante now. Put that in perspective. But he was like right after he retired from the FBI, he was taking these crazy contracts. And so one of his guys who was like the CEO of a fucking Fortune like 50 company told him that his security for his company at their headquarters was phenomenal. And Jim's like, the fuck it is. And he's like, no, it's phenomenal. And Jim's like, so I could test it? He's like, oh yeah, you'll never be able to get in there. Maybe we can splice in the Jim story here, but I'll tell John while we're in here. But so Jim goes to the fucking Starbucks outside the headquarters. He's like loading his gun and making sure it's unloaded like outside the Starbucks. People are looking at him. He's like, all right, get in the game mode. Walks into the front door, like literally goes to the front desk. He goes, yeah, I'm going to see so and so on the third floor. They're like, yeah, okay, go ahead. Gets up to the third floor, goes up to the front desk. I think he had donuts or something. And he goes, yeah, sorry, I'm late with these. I was supposed to bring them yesterday, but he's in, right? Oh, yeah, he's in. Yeah, I'll just be 5 minutes. Walks in there, sits down at the desk. Or walks in there, the CEO's sitting down at the desk, goes through the door, holds up the gun to his head and says, you're dead, we need to talk. It was that easy. Oh my God,
that is brilliant.
It was like 2 steps.
That's brilliant.
Crazy. But like, you guys have to learn how to do that common sense at CIA.
I've said in other podcasts, I was always the good cop when I was in operations, always. And I found success to be far easier than it was for the guys who were the bad cop.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.